Like, I think Arteta's done a good job to get Arsenal back into conversations. Yeah, I think for a long time Arsenal was sort of teetering in and around, fifth to eighth, that sort of area. They're now one of the top 2-3 teams in the country. That's brilliant. That's great. I also accept that it's going to be very difficult for anybody to take that mantle from Man City. That's what they're challenged with. That's what Klopp is faced with every year, right? That is what Arteta is faced with. But you've got to. That's why the money's spent. Arsenal just spent a lot of money. I think their fans want to win a trophy. Surely their fans want to win trophies as well, right? So at what point do you say, if they don't win, that, okay, Arteta's had long enough, now it needs to go to someone with more experience? Because we've got to remember, this isn't an experienced manager. Arteta is not an experienced manager, Terry.
No, I agree. I think that you can't put all fans into the same box. However, what I would say is this. There are some Arsenal fans, and I think these sections of fan bases are prevalent at each of our clubs, who want the praise for their individual players being brilliant, want the praise for the style of football, want the manager to be lauded, want the club to be looked at as gigantic, but they do not want the overarching pressure of now deliver trophies. Because if you fail in delivering those trophies, then the question marks over the quality of your team, manager, and players comes into question. Because I'll stand by it. Every award that's ever been given out to any player in any team, and I learned this, I knew this anyway, but I researched it a lot last night, that's ever been awarded is based on winning things. Which is why when I said to you, about Harry Kane, on ability, one of the best the Premier League's had, on greatness, which in my head, maybe we can change the wording, which I equate to what you have won alongside your ability. He ain't there yet because he hasn't won those trophies. But when it comes to teams and the manager, it's even more clean cut for me because you're not talking about an individual at a team. You're talking about them as a collective. So I think there are some Arsenal fans that don't demand trophies or don't like that being there because it might murky the waters regarding the way they think or talk about their club. Because at the end of the day, if Spurs play better football than Chelsea for the next 5 years, but Chelsea win 2 league titles and 3 FA Cups and Spurs win nothing, Spurs playing better football doesn't make them a better football team. But there is a percentage of football fans nowadays at all our clubs that believe that as long as your football's pretty, you're one of the best football teams, and you're not. It is about, at the end of the day, winning trophies.
You get a shelf life. So you get a shelf life. So, for example, Pochettino going into Chelsea this year, you get a shelf life. The club's a mess. You need to sort it out, implement something, go. Next year, he's not got that, right? Postecoglou at Tottenham picked us up when we're an absolute mess. We're an absolute shambolic mess. He's not under pressure this year to win a trophy. Next year, people are going to get onto him. Cool, this is now your squad. You've been here a year. You've implemented your style of play, win a trophy. Arteta's been there 4 years. Klopp's under pressure every year. Klopp wins trophies most years, right? Which is why he's there. I don't know off the top of my head. I've not got the information in front of me. He's been there 8 years. Jurgen Klopp, 7, 8 years now.
Yeah, he's won. I want to say he's won. I don't know about Community Shields. He's won 4 trophies, I think, in the time that he's been there.
Right, so he's won the Champions League, the league. That was 2 different seasons.
Yeah, he's won the Champions League and the league. He's won the League Cup.
The League Cup.
He's won. He's won the Super Cup and the World Cup as well. So total trophies, he's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's won 7 trophies in 8 years.
So, I mean, if you're winning 7 trophies in 8 years, no one can look at that and go, didn't deliver. Problem is, and the thing is, I always find it difficult because when I talk about Arsenal, it sounds salty because I'm a Spurs fan. I say it of my own club. Pochettino, when Pochettino was at Tottenham, everyone wanted the praise, right? Everyone wanted, oh my God, how good are we to watch? Aren't we the best team in the country to watch? Our football's brilliant. I was one of the fans going, he's been here 5, 6 years. You've got to win. Like, stop getting to the finals. Stop getting to semis. At what point do you go, right, this is now, everything here is my team. I've got to get them over the line. So ultimately, that's why when people were screaming and fighting for Pochettino to come back in the summer, at the end of the day, I didn't want him back because the guy had 6 years. He had multiple finals, semi-finals. He didn't get over the line. And you say, okay, cool. Thank you. We'll get someone else in. So at the end of the day, it's all clubs. It's not just rivals. It's the same as Man United at the moment. Ten Hag would have been gone ages ago if he hadn't have picked up the trophy last year. Yeah, trophies give you credit in the bank. They do. Unfortunately, they do. You're right. Harry Kane had to leave Spurs because we don't win anything. Harry Kane had to leave Spurs so that he can go and win the Bundesliga, try and challenge for the I don't think they'll win it, but try and challenge for the Champions League, try and win the German Cup, because you are going to be remembered for winning things ultimately at the end of the day. And that's players, managers, owners. Look at the Spurs owners. Look at the stick they get. 1 League Cup in 23 years, Terry. That's the.
Do you know what's crazy? And do you know what it comes down to as well? Like, I was talking to a Spurs friend of mine the other day, good mate, growing up with him, and we were just having a bit of a banter, a bit of a laugh at what's going on in the chat, and he said something. I said, "Bro, you got to wake up and smell the coffee." What? I said. He goes, I like what Postecoglou's doing, and I love it, but I just don't know why people expect us to go and win. We can't compete with you guys. I said, hang on a minute. I went and had a look, right, and I screenshot it and sent it to him. In the Premier League era, Spurs have spent £1.94 billion on players. And to put that into context, right, Newcastle spent 1.4 billion, Arsenal 1.9, so you're slightly above them. Liverpool have spent 2.1 billion, Man United 2.3 billion. You've only, like, over 30 years, Man United, who are compared to you in size, have only spent 400 million pound more than you in 30 years. So this notion that Spurs don't spend money and are not part of the rich club, it's just a lie, which I'm not even saying he's lying. When I showed it to him, he was like, I didn't know that.
Who's this?
He's just a mate of mine, just a friend.
Oh,
he was like, I didn't know this. And I said, that's because everything you consume is Tottenham based. And of course, you guys are famed, like nice football, pretty football, exciting football. But we haven't got the money the big boys have got to win, so it's okay to be what we are. No, you're the 5th highest spenders in English football history. But in terms of the teams, listen, Chelsea spent 3.6 billion, Man City 2.8 billion. They're a fair way ahead of you. But Man United, Liverpool, and Arsenal, who have been exponentially more successful than you, we're all in the same ballpark as each other, really. So this notion that you guys don't spend, and this isn't a dig at you, is crazy. But because that's the way
I don't take it as a dig.
Because that's perpetuated in the Spurs fan base, they all have this. It's a myth of, but we shouldn't be expected to win. We're little Tottenham. You're not little Tottenham.
I don't see it that way.
You're super rich Tottenham. You're super rich Tottenham.
I don't see it that way, that we're poor little Spurs that shouldn't be winning. That, look, I said this about Chelsea at the beginning of the season. This notion that you spent this much money, you should be winning. For me, there's half truths in it. But if you don't spend it well, it doesn't mean anything. And what Spurs have done for years and years and years, Spurs have spent money. I've always said that. My gripe with Daniel Levy has never been, oh my God, Daniel Levy doesn't put his hand in his pocket. Daniel Levy puts his hand in his pocket. My gripe has been that we've never actually implemented anything throughout a club in terms of directors of football structure, allowing the managers to pick the players that they want, never going the extra mile. We've never run the club properly. So we keep spending money. It doesn't work. You sack someone. You spend some more money. It doesn't work. You sack someone. It's what Chelsea fans are wishing for now. Not all, but by the way, when I say Chelsea fans, Terry, you know what I mean? Some, right? Not all, right? You got those people that want Poch sacked. Cool. All right, Terry, we're going to sack Poch. After all that money's been spent in the summer and after 10 games. Then what? The new manager comes in. He's now got a squad of players that he didn't get. So he's going to be knocking on the owner's door going, sorry, in January, could I have this player, this player, this player, this player? All of a sudden now you've got more money being spent, another couple of 100 million spent in that window. And you've got players going, well, hang on, what formation are we playing now? What are we? Oh, hang on, I was in favour under him. I'm not under him. There's no continuity. It's almost where Man United are. There's no continuity. Look at the best teams. If you look at who are the best 3 teams in the country right now, Terry?
City, Arsenal, Tottenham.
It's not
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
No, you're talking.
I mean, I don't mean after 10 games. I mean, like, who are the?
Okay, Liverpool. Yeah.
Okay. Why? Man City have had Pep Guardiola for 7 years with the same coaching staff. Yeah, all right, give or take when he loses them to win jobs. But I mean, like, the same director of football. It's all run the way Pep wants it, the way his director of football wants it. Yeah, all the players know the style of play. They all know the training. Everybody knows who runs the roost. Everybody knows what the training's going to be, the eating, everything, right? consistency. Liverpool, Klopp, right? He's been there 7, 8 years. 8 years, I think. Everyone knows who's the boss. Everyone knows the style of play. Everyone knows what's expected from them. Yeah? Continuity. Even Arsenal creeping into that conversation. Arteta's been there, 4 or 5 years. All the other clubs that keep changing their managers, changing their directors of football every year, every 18 months, every 2 years. Fans can want it. They can want to sack these people. If you do not at some point implement all these things that give you continuity, you are going to be on this perpetual cycle of failing.
Yeah, mate, I understand completely. And everybody pulling in the same direction, but it's, as I say, like, fans not wanting trophies is such a weird concept to me. Not wanting that pressure, I judge my club based on it, and this is the irony. Whenever we come to arguing about which of our clubs is the biggest and the best, all we use is trophies. But in the contemporary times, in real moments, who's the best right now? People don't like the trophies being. Everyone wants context, and Pep's had more money to spend, so yes, he's won more than Klopp, but he don't count for as much because of this. Arsenal fans did it for 2 decades when it comes to Fergie versus Wenger. Oh, if we had as much money as you, then we'd have done this and we'd have done that. And it's like, at the end of the day, we've seen people spend huge money and fail. You know, just because you've got money doesn't guarantee you success. Otherwise, Pep Guardiola wouldn't be the Man City manager, because if the 2-3 guys that came before him were winning the way he is and dominating Europe the way he is, they wouldn't have gone to Pep. Maybe.
Terry, is everyone desperate? Is everyone desperate who doesn't support Man City for Pep Guardiola to leave Man City?
Yes.
Why?
It's not
They're still going to have money, so why are they desperate? They're still going to have fun.
Exactly.
So why are they desperate?
Exactly. It's him. We're all desperate for it, like 110%, of course.
Continuity.
Someone says, Terry, that's actually false. Now, listen, I'm not saying they wouldn't have gone for Pep in the end, but if if Pellegrini had won the Champions League and was dominating English football the way Pep is, I don't know if they'd have replaced him. But it was because what you were doing before Pep is you'd win a league and then not win a league. You were sometimes in title races, sometimes in top 4 races, sometimes doing well in Europe, sometimes not doing well in Europe. You weren't inconsistent from a top 4 point of view, but you were inconsistent in terms of challenging for the major 2 trophies. Pep changed that for you. The point is, though, if you were consistent in those areas, you may not have broke the adage of you wouldn't fix what isn't broken. There may not have been the necessity to go for him at that point. Maybe you would have done, but a lot of people, if things are almost perfect, the idea of changing that to try and make it even better is difficult. So yeah, maybe you would have got him, but maybe it would have been later on down the line.
Can I give you a couple of examples really quickly? Really quickly. Man United dominant 20 years or whatever under Ferguson. Look what's happened since. Arsenal under Wenger. Look what's happened since. The only team I think that break that mold, the only team that have broken that mold for me in the last 20 years has been Chelsea, because Chelsea had such a world-class squad that you could sack Joe. I'm not saying in this order. You could sack Jose. You could bring in Ancelotti and go on then, ready-made, go, win. And they could win. Problem is now everyone's got money. So you can't just do that. If Chelsea sack Poch now, who are you bringing in that's going to suddenly go, right, we're winning in year 1? It's changed.
No, I understand that.